Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, I really should have bought my own towel, man. This towel leaves behind so much, so very much. But I'm so very thankful just the same, man. But if y'all see a bunch of white stuff on my face, I cannot possibly pick all of this off. It just left behind so very much. So yeah, that's a real thing for me, man. I'm gonna have to ask them to get me another towel ASAP that does not shed. But yeah, I'm blessed, man. I feel good. I woke up this morning. The bed isn't quite that comfortable, but you know, it is what it is. Do I miss my bed now? A little bit, but not really, because it's attached to a place I needed to leave. You know, one thing that came to me this morning was, you know, you don't want to allow for the mistake that I made, which is expecting mo ass to save yo ass. That's a bad decision, and I wish I would have been able to have that saying in my head. About 2 or 3 years ago, and I would have handled things a bit better, maybe address my mental health, maybe get some more support. You know, it's all about what your options appear to be to you. And for me, I didn't know of different support systems that would have helped me, because I didn't have the rhythm of looking stuff up. When you're in this position, you got to. And so while I was going through all of that building my position stuff, while I was trying to get out of my job, I should have been applying for things that made my life easier. This cell phone, I have got to go back around and try to get this cut down, because it's way too expensive and it's outdated to begin with. I'm paying $100 for service that, you know, on a phone that's outdated for about 3 years. So this is just bad for me, and I just don't change because I just get used to something and roll with it. But you know, this is the stuff that needs to be done differently. Comfort needs to align with what would actually make you comfortable, not just in the moment, but for all time. And when you think like I do for the sake of comfort in the moment, it makes it so that you end up doing things that don't actually make you comfortable at all. And so that's what I'm aware of and hopeful to change in this era of my life. I've left the Lawrence, and that's the name of the building that I used to live at, and I want to leave some of those temporary comfort behaviors behind me. And although I feel anxiousness about things that I don't want to do, such as going back to security or really doing anything that I don't want to do, at the end of the day, I wake up this morning in this apartment, or rather in this hotel room, knowing that, you know, the days of me living without paying is over. 2 years of not having to budget so much for rent and just taking living for free for granted. And so that's what I need to work into my equation. It's almost like being a 21-year-old stepping out in your own apartment for the first time once again. You got to learn how to pay bills again. You got to learn how to budget, and you got to want to do so. And you can't think that your money is a bottomless pit that you can just pick from and pick from and pick from. And so that's part of the immaturity that I've been engaging in over the last several years. And now I wake up in this morning and I see what I have in my account, and then I look at what I owe, and it's like, yo, this is reality now. Not any of that stuff I was doing over at the Lawrence, but now you have this amount and you have this amount of needs. I'm looking at shaving cream, and you know, I'm talking about I want to buy weights and stuff like that. I gotta eat, and I gotta make sure I pay for this room and all this stuff. It's like, I don't want to work the way that I used to work, but I also don't find myself being able to live without doing so just like everybody else. And that's a reality that I avoided just because, well, quite honestly, I was too anxious to really address it. But I tell you, man, the anxiousness that I just got through going through over the last 6 months with this nonsense that I've allowed to happen, I want the Lord to know that that was enough to make me want to do things a lot differently. And I just want my head to also align with what needs to be done, because at the end of the day, this is a mental health thing, and my mental health has always been something in my way. And so that's really what it comes down to. I'm a man that does still need to help himself, but also will need help from others. So that's really what it comes down to, man. I'm grateful that the Lord has given me an opportunity to pick this white stuff off of my head with this camera while talking these things with you. But like, at the end of the day, the wisdom of it all is to just don't allow yourself to think that just because you have mental health issues, that it's okay to give yourself passes for things that ultimately you need help for. Get your help so you can get on your feet. Maybe you have a family that's willing to help you. Maybe that's not in your life. You need to be able to make a way for yourself. So I would say apply for everything there is to apply for. Use your Google. If you have access to a device, use it. That's what I would tell myself in the past. All the time that you spend playing video games, all the time you spent laying down, it didn't take much for you to take 25 minutes and Google, how can I help myself in various areas? What programs are available? And so those are the type of things that were tedious in my mind, not necessarily anxious, just because I was giving myself passes and people would take, help me, or because I had my position I could pick from. I just didn't see that as even an option. It didn't even enter my mind that there would be programs that could help with these things. And so that's what I'm more so aware of now, that there are programs, that you do have to look for them, and then once you apply, they may actually make your life easier in terms of these type of things. So, it is what it is. This is a person's path when you're not wealthy, or when you're not well off, or when you don't have what it takes to be independent like you should. Whatever that may be for you, I just want you to know that you got options. Maybe your state doesn't provide what California does. Maybe it does in much better ways, but it's up to you to find it. And if you're in one of those countries that don't have those things, then I encourage any leader that I see, that sees me rather, to try to devise a way to create those opportunities for the poor in your life, in your country. Devise ways of helping the sick in your country. I believe that if you do that, you will allow for a lot of support to your country once you have people with strong foundations, raising families with intentions. That's what I think patriotism for your various countries is really about. It's about the hope that the strength of your country can cultivate your children the same way that it cultivated you and your grandparents, and so on and so forth. Or even better, that the pride that you have in the land can make it so that it will always stand. And so that's what I have to say to some of those countries. Maybe your budget doesn't allow for that. Maybe you don't, maybe that's not where you are in regards to where your people are, but there's poverty everywhere. There's needs everywhere. And a person like myself who believes he has a lot to offer the world, sometimes we just need somebody to help us with the things that we're not good at, so that we can get on our feet and display what it is that we're great at. And we will contribute to the overall betterment of the country we're in. We will contribute to our environment, because we too have something to give in the form of children who will come after us, who maybe will be more capable than us, who maybe will be more smart than we are. Don't rule out that just because someone's not capable or intelligent, that they can't from them bring forth greatness, because it's possible. It's very possible. And so that's what I want to say, man. Don't discard people just because they don't have what they need to give to you. Their children may be able to give you 20 times that if you just allow them an opportunity for a foundation to raise them. So that's where my head is, man. I want people to know that I don't think myself to be the most productive person in the world naturally. Even if I put forth my best, I still have limitations based on what it is I'm used to, my work ethic, and etc. But what I want people to know is that what it is that I do understand and I'm good at is how to inspire by way of my voice different ways of thinking that ultimately I believe will help us along the way as we continue to do what we do independently of a lot of support in a lot of cases. We can do more if we have more support, but without that support, it's very difficult, but a lot of people are persevering. And I just want to let everybody know, if you're one of those people, that I'm too trying to take your example and apply it to myself with the help that I've been given, so that I can become the help that I was given for someone else someday. So until then, this is what it is. I'm gonna use my voice for that. And I just believe in the degree of separation from a misfit and a leader. And it ain't far, man. But if you discard the misfit's house, you will also discard the leader that they're raising. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching.